Okay, fam, we fry here with slight research, and today I want to dive into 3,500-year-old ancient African history. Our black African ancestors created and shaped civilized life and culture, ways that are imitated today and have been all through history by kingdoms, nations, and religions. The very concept of kingdoms and religion began with our black African ancestors. Amen-Hotep III, the one Amen is satisfied with, also known as Amen-Hotep the Magnificent or Amen-Hotep the Great, was the ninth pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. Queen Tah was his wife. As you already know, you have to know to grow, and it's facts, not fiction.
We have always been hospitable to strangers, mostly the wrong stranger. And what we have to understand now, in the period of superior brainwashing, is there is no European answer to African problems. Either Africans find a solution to African problems, or there is no solution. And if you don't find a solution soon, you go back into slavery.
Amen-Hotep III's 37-year reign was peaceful and prosperous. His diplomatic relations allowed art and culture to flourish, and his building projects are legendary. Queen Tah was married to Amen-Hotep III by the second year of his reign. Their marriage was celebrated by the issue of commemorative scarabs, announcing Tah as the great royal wife and giving the names of her parents. Accomplishments of Amen-Hotep III are often overlooked among 18th dynasty Egyptian pharaohs. He didn't conquer new territories like his great-grandfather, nor did he begin heretical reforms like his son. He also never left behind a king's ransom of riches like his grandson. Instead, his peaceful reign helped secure Egypt's position in the ancient world. Art became more important than ever, while culture and religion reformed and flourished under his guiding hand. Many of his buildings, projects such as the Temple of Luxor and the Colosseum of Menon, are representative of ancient Egyptian as a whole. Amen-Hotep III had the privilege of inheriting the rule of Egypt at its peak, with more territory than ever before, more wealth than anyone could imagine, and no wars to fight. Amen-Hotep III could entertain other pursuits during his 37-year reign. He continued the efforts of those who came before him. He inspired surface-level religious reform, placing himself and all pharaohs to come firmly in the role of the divine. He married several princesses from neighboring kingdoms, fostered diplomatic relations, and avoided conflict where he could. Art and culture blossomed during his peaceful reign. His festivals were some of the grandest seen during this period, and his building projects were some of the largest. His many statues feature such striking and unique features that he is instantly recognizable, even where his statues have been usurped and reinscribed. Amen-Hotep III didn't have to earn his golden age, but his actions helped to maintain everything his forebears had worked for. The Colosseum of Menon are two 20-meter-tall representations of the pharaoh Amen-Hotep III. The sitting statues were part of his mortuary temple that was destroyed over time. The Colossi now form part of the Theban necropolis on the east bank of the Nile at Luxor. The Colossi are composed of large, heavy pieces of stone that lie on the top of each other without using mortar to bind them. Menon comes from the Greeks who honored their hero of the Battle of Troy by renaming the monument after him. Amen, a word we use after every prayer to the Most High. Amen is also a title and a name that several pharaohs of the 18th dynasty used, for they were looked at as deities, just as the Roman Catholic Church popes used the old names of past popes to embody the spirit and to deify them. They used the same customs and traditions of our African ancestors in maintaining power and control. Hotep is the name and title meaning peace, just like the word Islam. You can trace in all religions back to our ancestors. You have to know to grow. Facts, not fiction. Peace.
We have to stop all of this nonsense about who belongs to what religion when all of them were imposed on us in the first place. We stop all this fight between Muslims and Christians. All of them are handmaids of conquerors. All of them are religions of conquerors. We were naive when we accepted their interpretation of something that we had all along. I'm saying we need to take a good look at ourselves. I'm not talking about burning churches. I'm not talking about getting rid of religions. Understand me well. I'm saying that every single thing that touches your life, religious, socially, and politically, must be an instrument of your liberation, or you must throw it into the ash can of history. To develop a liberation Islam, you'd have to turn on the supreme slave traders who were in the slave trade 1,000 years before the Europeans, the Arabs. And most brothers who think they're Muslims are merely Arabists, forerunners, vanguards of Arab propaganda. The Arabs are not above joining the Jews against black people. In America, they're already doing it in Detroit. In America, they're already doing it in real estate. You got some dewy-eyed thing that you got a friend. I still ask you to look at that mirror. And if nothing staring back at you is friendly, then you've got no friend.